Hey guys, what's going on today? Wasn't planning on making a video today. I know I've been posting almost every single day, putting videos up, uploading. But I was kind of excited about this. I know I did a video yesterday about Crosman's customer service and, you know, kind of the issues I was having with these mags, how they sent me a replacement. And I waited, you guys know how I am. I waited for the new one to get here, and then today I was like, well, when I get home from work, I'm tearing this thing apart, the old one, and see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. And I got online and was doing some research, and there's apparently a few different issues that these mags have, but I'll tell you what my issue was. So with these mags, it says first right here, you load the first CO2 on this side, and then you'll load this side. Well, the problem I was having was this side wasn't charging. So, and it seems to be a common thing. It's one of the problems that these magazines have. So, like I said, I got home today and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go upstairs and take that thing apart. I did a little poking around online. I really couldn't find any repair videos about it, and I'll show you guys what I did. And it was just kind of a fluke thing. It seemed to work, but and I'll show you guys how to take these things apart. You're going to need to start with a real small little Phillips screwdriver. Probably going to need the pick. I got my pick set here. We got a screw here, 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 and over here. We're going to start with taking these two out. And as always, something to throw your screws in. These are tiny, tiny little screws. Going to be easy to lose. Now these two screws here are the same length. Let me get them out here. Oops. Yeah, I got this thing apart, guys, and you'll see. I'm looking at it going, these things are not meant to be completely disassembled once they're put together. So I'm kind of looking at it going, well, I really don't think there's much I can do. Let me try this. These two are the same length. We'll take this little guy out. Got this screw right here in the bottom that I'm taking out now. This screw is pretty long. It's the longest one. Just remember that the longest one goes in the bottom right here. Now, I'm going to take this one out. I did manage to get this magazine working. Oh, and by the way, this one that goes in the back here is really short. The shortest one goes in the back. But I did manage to get this thing working. Pop this guy up off here. That's where I use my little flat blade screwdriver. And different things were going through my head about what might be causing the problem. And the thing was, I thought, well, maybe the little piercing thing in there isn't, but when you would unscrew the CO2, it was pierced. It would discharge. It just wasn't charging the magazine. So, get this guy off here. It's kind of a little pain in the ass to get off of here, but it pops right back on when you put it back together. So, come on. Just be careful because this thing is freaking plastic and it'll break pretty easy. There we go. That's kind of why it's kind of a pain to get off, because you got these little deals here that go down into the magazine. Okay. Now something too, I'm going to show you guys. When you're getting ready to take this off, just like these two pieces. I'm trying to get it at an angle where you can see them. These two pieces, you got two of them here and here that are molded into the back of this. So I'm going to take this and push on them. And this is kind of awkward too. And you got to be careful here, guys, because see, this thing's already fallen down, but I'll show you how to put that back together. You got a couple of pieces that just sit in here that this magazine cover, when everything's all screwed together, it holds tight together, but I'll show you guys how those are orientated. Push on these, and this is coming out pretty easy because I already had this thing apart. It was kind of hard to get apart the first time, but just find something, an Allen wrench or something that you can push down and start those things down. So there, them parts fell out, but I'll show you how they go. So here's the other side, and again, it's plastic, so you want to be careful. So I'm going to put these back on here. I'll pull the phone off here so I can show you guys how they go. Maybe I'll even take a picture of it to put in the video, or not, I don't know. Okay, let me pull this off here so I can show you. Here you can see here, guys, they just sit in here like this, and when the follower for the mag is down, it pushes up the BBs. That allows this to push down and do what it does. I can't really do it one-handed, so I'm just going to kind of set that back in there like that. Oops, I just took a snapshot. Anyway, so that's how those sit in there. And like I say, they just pull out. So, and you can just kind of set them off to the side. You were sitting right. Okay. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to throw them in my little tin here, like that. Now, so here we got her pretty well stripped down, and you know, I'm looking at this thing, trying to figure out how to take it apart, because there's got to be, and I'm not exactly sure how this magazine works. I might contact Crosman and see if they have a parts diagram for these magazines, but they probably don't. This probably just shows up as a magazine when you're looking at the gun. I doubt they have a diagram for it. But anyway, so you put this one in, and no CO2 will come out this side. So there's got to be a little valve in here. And I was thinking earlier, maybe it's like a kind of like a backflow preventer, where you put this one in first, it closes the valve, or however it works, keeping it closed, and then you charge this side, and as this side gets shot down and the pressure gets down to a certain point, then this side has enough pressure to open that valve and allow the CO2 up into the magazine. That's just a theory. I have no idea how it actually works, but it's got to be something like that. But at any rate, so I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, how can I tear this thing apart? And if you look, these pins right here, now those are, I'm thinking that there's a couple pieces that come down inside here off of this piece, and that's what holds these two pieces together. There's some kind of a sealing washer in there, but if you look here at the back side, you can see that this is some kind of a stock thing. They just drive these pins through, and then they break them off on the back side. Let me try to hold it still so it'll focus on it. So they just snap off there. So I'm looking at that going, well, if I really wanted to, you could get a small punch and drive them out, but yeah, it's probably never going to seal up right when you take it apart. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I guess we'll just run it on one CO2, and then I flip it around here, and there's this little flat-headed screw right here in the back of this. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take that little screw out. I'm going to see if I can see anything down in there. And I still don't really know for sure what the function of this screw is. I don't know what it does. This little screw is kind of a pain to get out. You get it unthreaded, and it kind of just sits in there still. You got to kind of work it on out of there. There it goes. Don't lose it. And it looks like there's just like a little dab of some kind of sealant or thread locker or something on the end of it. So I get that out, and then I take my little straight pick here and I put it down in there, and it stops, and it feels like there's something kind of soft in there. And I was like, well, I don't want to poke too hard, but so I wanted to see how deep it went in there. And so I put my finger here and I put it up here and I kind of try to even it up, and you can see it goes to about right into here for depth. So at that point, you know, I'm trying to shine my light from my phone down in there, and I can't really see what the hell's going on in there. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm just gonna put a CO2 in it with that screw out and see what it does. Now in the past, I could, with a CO2 in this side, I could take it out with a full CO2 in this side, and you should not be able to do that. When you have a full one in here, if you remove this CO2, and if your mag's working properly, this CO2 on this side is going to discharge out this side. And that's what it should do. But it would never do that. I'd have a full CO2 in here and nothing would come out. So I could change this CO2 out all day long and never lose any CO2 out of this side. So I said, well, you know what, and I'm going to sacrifice the CO2 for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put one in there and see what happens. So I put CO2 in, and this happens. And I went, huh, that's interesting. Boy, it dumped right out of there. So take that CO2 out. I put the screw back in, and then I took another CO2 and put it in this side again. And guess what happened? It dumped out this side on the left like it's supposed to. And I went, whoa, I don't know what I just did there. That's why I said it was kind of a fluke thing. I said, I'm not sure what I did, but the only thing I can think of is that these get shipped and they sit for a long time. I know some of these mag problems have been fixed by Crosman, and this gun, I think, it must have sat for a real long time because the mag was bad, and it's an issue that has been corrected by them for a while. And I just wonder if that little valve in there, just from sitting around, gets stuck. Maybe. I don't know. And so when you put a CO2 in this side, it's charging, and then you put one in this side, it doesn't have anywhere for that CO2 to dump to. So what I think in putting the CO2 in this side without one in here and taking out this screw is the pressure. It's enough pressure to blow that little valve open and allow it to dump. Freeze it up and lets it do what it's supposed to do. This is all just theory, guys. But that's the only thing I can think of. So then we took it outside, and as you can see there at the beginning of the video, Jackson was outside. I had him testing for me. And like I said, we were getting 4 or 5 magazines of good shooting. You could get more out of it, but it was, you know, these things will, when the CO2 gets low, you got to keep racking the charging handle to make it work. So, but we took both magazines out. I loaded them both with CO2, and we got about 10 full mags out of both of the magazines. So I've gotten this one to work. So we'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully that lasts. But like I said, I just think that there's a little valve in here that just gets stuck shut from probably sitting around. And just so if you're having that problem where this side isn't charging, take the CO2 out of this side, take your mag apart, take that little set screw out, and charge, screw it in this side and let it blow out. And then I think you'll find that you'll have both sides working, and you'll be able to shoot way more, and you won't be wasting a bunch of CO2 like I did when I first got this. It took me a while to figure out that I was wasting a bunch of CO2. So anyway, so we got her working. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and it's just a reverse order, putting it back together. Put your screw back in. You're going to put this guy on the back. These pieces, like I said, I showed you guys how they lay in there. That's where you're going to start. You're going to put those pieces in, and then you're going to put this cover on. That's the first thing you're going to do, so it holds those in place for you. Geez, I just barely set that on there. It got stuck. So here, you know what? I'll just do it real quick here, because this is, you want to make sure you got these set in the right way. Now on this one, I'll pull my phone off here and show you. And I'm sure that they're all like this, but if you guys look, you can see the stamp numbers in them. The stamp numbers face out, and this little tang goes below this one. That's how they're supposed to set. And then I'm just going to take this cover. I just can't. I got to put it back up here, guys. This little cover, you're just going to line up the holes like so, and just click it back down on there like that. We're going to put, maybe, I'm going to put this little screw back in. Trying to be quick about this. Well, I messed that up, guys. I didn't put my little set screw back in. So, like I said, it's just reverse order of how you did it, of how you took it apart. Don't do it wrong like I just did. Put that screw in, put these pieces in, slap your cover back on, put your short, remember the short screw goes here. You're going to flip this guy over. You can put your long screw in then, in here. The long one goes in the very bottom here. You're going to slap this guy back on here and put your two screws in there, and that's it, guys. It's done. So if you're having problems with your mag not charging on both sides, try that. Take that screw out, screw CO2 in, blow it out, see if it works for you. If it does, let me know down in the comments. You know, I did, like I said, it was just kind of a fluke thing. So anyway, so that's what I got today, guys. Thanks for watching.